Hello, welcome to my shed. Today this is an Ask Arc regarding Flutter butter and Flutter butter pods and feeders. Now the complication comes when you start putting them into a feeder. So if we take our jar, remove the lid, take the feeder, and this one's been a bit attacked by a squirrel, you'll have to excuse that. You take it to the back of the feeder and you literally use the screw top to put it into place, hang it from a tree or a pole, and it's good to go for the birds. So that's nice and easy. If we want to cut down on our packaging and we switch instead to the pods, which are the ones that come in the plastic casing, and these are bought in stacks of 3s. So when you buy one, you actually get 3 individual pods. Now, I quite like the pods because they come with lids, and once I've washed them out, once the birds have eaten them, I keep bits and bobs of tools and screws and nuts and all sorts of bits and pieces in them. But there does come a time when you've got enough of those. So exactly the same as with the glass jar, the plastic pod goes to the feeder and you just use a screw thread to fix it in place. Birds feed from it, and that's great. So the final option that we have are these very lightweight refills. Now these do not work in the glass jars. Okay, they don't fit, and it won't then go in the feeder. They only fit in empty jars, or sorry, empty pods. I'm getting myself confused already. So that slides in place, you pop it in, peel the top off, and then use a screw thread of the old original pod to mount it and feed it. So once we've finished that, we now have a pod with an empty plastic liner inside one of these. So I take out my feeder, and if I try and put another pod in, I can't get it. It won't seal in the feeder. This is where the problem often arises. What you do is you forget you've already put a refill inside a pod. So that won't fit refill on top of refill. You need to remove that. If it's not fitting in your feeder, just check. It's hard to detect because they do fit very, very snugly. Now, if you can see, that has got an empty refill in it. I need to remove that empty refill before I can replace it. Now I replace it, and lo and behold, it will then go back into the feeder. So, a very quick recap. The original peanut butter for birds comes in a glass jar, which is heavy. It is recyclable, but it can get damaged in transit, and it is heavy, and that increases the cost of transport, carbon footprint. So we moved on to plastic jars, which come in stacks, which greatly reduce the amount of packaging. They are recyclable, and they can be reused in different ways as well. So, you know, you can upcycle them in addition. But once you reach a point, you want to move on to the refills, which can only be used with the pods. And when you do use your pods, you must remember to take out the refill before refilling it. That's probably as clear as mud, but I hope I've helped a little bit. But as I say, any questions, please get in touch, post comments below, raise your questions with us, and I'll be happy to answer you. Okay.